Ready, hot!
Thank you, Michael, and welcome everyone. Going back through the Baylor game, once again, just was very pleased to always start offensively with the overall balance, the ability to run the football. Damian Williams had another really good day. Blake Bell, another, big breakaway, but consistent there. Throwing the football, great protection all night. I think one of the big stories was true freshman Ty Darlington, first start and first significant time really on the field. Playing the whole game at center was really, really good. Played in a really excellent way with blocking, being where he needed to be, assignments. Had just the two hiccups with the procedures where he just double clutched the snap. So not uncommon for a guy in his first start out there, but to go down the first two drives with a true freshman center and to score 2 times in a row right off the bat was really pleasing and exciting to see. Ty play so well. Landry again was great throwing the football, just really precise, really good. The receivers did a great job getting open. So the one disappointment is probably the fumble. We come out at halftime and give up our first 2 possessions on turnovers. So that was the one downside. Defensively, we did a great job covering a very explosive passing attack. I thought our coverage was really good overall to limit them. I think we gave up the one or two plays, but other than that, did a pretty good job of it. As I said after the game, I knew structure-wise we would possibly be a little bit vulnerable to the run, and we were. I thought, though, overall we had probably 5 or 6 missed tackles that really gave them some yards. That was one issue, and still thought there's a player or two watching it on Sunday that we can address some issues and make some improvement today, just going back through a couple of plays and how we played them. You never, in the end, giving up 250 yards is not what you want to do. But, again, it worked, and, and again, limiting their passing attack. I thought special teams, once again, we were really good. Excellent in our returns, set up field position at the end of the half once again. With the big return, we had kind of said on the headphones, if we get it out near the 35, if we're not stuck backed up, let's go after points. And sure enough, Brennan gets it out past the 50, 45 going in, I think it was. We hit an out route and then a go route for the touchdown. Justin Brown made a great adjustment on the ball, and Landry gave him a shot at it, and really good. Some guys that played really well. DeMontre Hurst, Gabe Lynn, and the secondary. Frank Shannon had 8 or 9 tackles, really, as a young guy came in, played well. David King, once again, up front, really strong. Landry, Blake Bell, we talked about. Ty Darlington was our player of the game. All the receivers, again, really strong. Patrick O'Hara hit two balls out of the 5 yards deep in the end zone into a 25-mile-per-hour wind. Was really pretty good. So there's more guys on there, but rather than mentioning everybody, that's kind of how it went. So we're anxious to hopefully again here make some improvement here heading down, going to West Virginia. This week will be a challenge. Offensively, there's still with Geno Smith and all the speedy receivers and really, again, a very explosive offensive football team. Have been all year, so that'll be a challenge. But, again, hopefully we can make some improvement going through this week and have a chance to go up there, play our best, and have a chance to win.
What's your injury situation with your offensive linemen?
It's better. I believe I'm expecting to have Gabe Eichert back. He was very close Thursday, but didn't feel that they were ready to clear him, so I'm expecting to have Gabe back. Lane Johnson was better, finished the game. Actually, Lane had a nice game when he was in there. Limited snaps, but did well. He's and no worse for it, so he'll be improved. and Bronson was improved, and Adam, we believe, will be fine with a day or two of rest. So I believe we'll have those guys all ready to go.
How anxious were you, Coach, with, I mean, center is a
Oh.
pretty important position going in.
I didn't want to admit it, but I was pretty nervous.
Yeah.
And but it's one of those things where you have confidence in the guy. You know, you got to give it to him. A coach's son was ready for the moment, you know, and his dad's at a very successful high school down there doing well, and he came in and he didn't flinch. Even before the game, I was just excited to see his demeanor, and he was ready to play. And that's you know, and it's really exciting too. And there's a guy too that you feel if you know, as things progress here, that you can go to and possibly move Gabe around if you needed to. So just proud of Ty to play like he did.
Did you know, I mean, you had him in summer camp and things, and just knowing his dad was a coach, did you envision that he was a center from the first time you worked with him?
Sure, yeah, we felt all along center would, you know, and that's a particular position, and he really, you know, just to watch him, he on his feet all day, never off his feet, never stumbled on anybody, always finding and chasing the linebacker or getting off his double team up to a backer was really impressive.
What West Virginia Baylor's offense not exactly similar, but
Not nowhere near.
but they rely on the pass. What you did Saturday, any indication you might continue to do that structurally on defense?
To a degree, we'll make some adjustments, and again, hopefully make some adjustments on some of the run game. Though their run game really is a little, you know, fairly different than how, you know, everybody's attack's different. The way Baylor's strategy to work is a little bit different than theirs, but you still got speedy receivers. You still got an excellent quarterback. You don't have as much of the, you know, of the quarterback run game, you know, that kind of thing. So, again, everybody has their way that they like to try and move the football.
Are you maybe not as disruptive up front in the front four as you have been in the past this year?
Again, it's just not. We have been. I mean, we've had our games where we've been very disruptive. I think this style of play a week ago is just a little bit different when you have the way they play and the plays you have to defend. You know, so in the end, do I think up there we could have played a little bit better? Sure. But we've had our games where we've been very disruptive. So this one we needed to be a little bit more.
Do you have an explanation for why West Virginia's sort of fallen?
No.
They're 5-0, now they've lost 4 straight.
You know,
Can you tell it what's been going wrong with them?
No, that wouldn't be something that I'd speak to. You can ask, you know, Dana or them, you know, their analogies of it. I still see a very good football team, and I've seen other teams that have played them. I would say the common thread too is they've played really well. The other teams that are playing them have taking care of the football, or, you know, doing the things you need to do to covering people, you know, being sound in their defensive schemes, those kind of things. You have to play really well to beat them.
What does Geno Smith present? I mean, there's a conference full of good quarterbacks, but for a while he was.
He's another one of them. Geno's a big guy, great in the pocket, got a great arm. You know, all those things. He's an excellent quarterback, excellent passer.
How do you keep, I mean, people hear all week about the defense not very good, give up a lot of points. How do you keep your offensive guys from buying into that?
Well, just like we do every week. We don't worry so much about what the other guys do and don't do. What do we need to do? How do we need to practice? How do we need to execute? Whether it's run game, protection, precision in our route running, timing. It's all about, you know, us being as good as we can be, and it's like that every week.
You guys have been such a good tackling team all year. How much of a concern is it going forward to shore up the missed tackles that you guys had?
Well, it'd be more of a concern if it was a common thread the whole entire year. We're 9 games into it. It hasn't been a very common thread. So I believe guys can see some of where we missed them, and we can do it a little bit better.
You bring in quarterbacks now that on campus that are mobile. Is that a coincidence that they can run, or is it something that you wanted to do with bringing a mobile
I think everybody always wants, we want the ability to throw the ball first, but anytime you have the ability to run the ball with it, you want that with it. when you can. I think everybody does, and we always have. So sure, that's always a positive when they can have the ability to run the football too.
Blake looked pretty quick. What does he run a 40 in?
I'm not sure. Fast enough, he was once he got rolling, he's pretty quick. I don't know. I want to say probably 4.6, around there.
Well, West Virginia had massive special teams mistakes Saturday in Stillwater. When you see a team struggle in special teams, do you guys game plan for that, or do you start doing things different, or do you just have sort of the same special teams philosophy?
It's hard at this point in the year to all of a sudden have a different strategy special teams wise. I think as much as anything, you want to, if you feel there's a weakness or some kind of problem somewhere, do your best to work it in the context of what you do. And I'm sure we'll try and do that. And again, and as much as anything where we've been good this year is do what we need to do, and we've been good at it, and our assignments, our technique, and so, hopefully that'll continue.
Hey, Bob, could you address and talk to the fact that, in this defensive scheme or some of the schemes you've run this year, you're playing multiple defensive backs, and so new guys are coming in, like Lamar Harris played Saturday.
And when we needed him on the 2-point play, he was sitting on the bench drinking water. So, we didn't do a very good job of that, and I think we've been a little bit too specific on some of our matchups. So we've talked a lot about it. We'll work it this week and hopefully simplify it where we don't have those issues.
You have a number of players you're playing, and you have some.
Well, that's been positive too. That we've played a lot of guys, and it's helping, I think, with health. Health-wise, and you have to. Well, when teams are going that fast, that long, or staying on the field, you got to keep mixing guys in.
Bob, can you talk about the challenge of your club understanding that West Virginia's season is not good, but this could kind of make their season, and you're going into an environment where
absolutely.
They're ready to go?
But I think our guys, our guys have heard all of the hype, beginning of the year and through the year, and rightfully so on their high-powered offense, and again, strength as a team overall, and how difficult it has been to play up there. Our guys are aware of all of those kind of things, and I kind of sensed in the locker room after the game that they understood it and were kind of looking forward to the challenge of it.
You guys have played well on the road all year, it seems like. I think your average margin of victory is 24 points. Just talk about that mentality, especially in a game like this.
Well, I think it's, as much as anything, it's hopefully it should be irrelevant where you're playing, and towards in regards to your mindset, in regards to how you prepare, in regards to how you walk on the field ready to play. And all that matters is what you're doing inside those lines, regardless of where it is. And I think we've been more consistent that way of approaching it that way. I don't feel even at home that, it's been very similar in trying to be methodical in how we play.
At what point do you, if ever, start paying attention to the BCS standings?
Maybe the last week.
You watched it for the first time last week, figure out where you're
I
going to
hadn't
go?
watched it. What do I need to watch it for? I mean, it's printed everywhere. I mean, it takes me all of a half a second for your secretary to show you it, I don't have time to watch it. In the end, you got to win. You got to win this week. That's our job. Everyone else can anticipate and project, and they're not always right. So just keep doing what we can do to try and win this week.
You ever been to a game in Morgantown?
I haven't.
You looking forward to it?
Sure, it's always exciting, going to a different stadium and a big, looking forward to a big challenge. That's what you want.
Is it?
Plus, I'll have about 80 Youngstown people over there. Got a couple buses, I think, heading that way.
Stacy McGee been playing since he's been back?
It's played well overall. Really has. You could tell getting more and more, knocking the rust off and getting more and more active in there.
talked about Frank Shannon, have 8 or 9 tackles. He seemed to be settling in pretty good at that linebacker position, playing a lot more comfortable, a lot more instinctive.
Yeah, and he's more sure of himself, understanding what has to happen, where he needs to be, and and he's been executing well. He's a big, strong player in there.
Why did you move Gresham back over to defense, and how has he played?
He's done well. It just the offensive part of it. Tried to get him in there in some of the spots earlier in the year, and just didn't keep progressing like we thought it would. And he knew that, and so as it went on, we still practice him, 10 minutes a game, 15 when we're down on the goal line or in some of the tight end situations to give Brandon Green a backup. But then, he just knew, and we knew he'd end up still being more productive on defense.
What do you see in West Virginia's defense? Because they've given up a bunch. How do you look at them on tape?
Well, again, people have executed in different ways against them, but they're very good. They kind of a 50 front most of the time, sound cover 4, which you see from a lot of people. Coverage, they'll take their time or chances and blitz off or either end and go man free. So structure is sound, good. And again, they make you execute and work to beat them, and that's what you have to do.
You realize people have trouble believing that, looking at their numbers. I mean, it's kind of tough to ask you a question like that because it seems like that's the answer you have.
Yeah, because they don't have to go play them. So, we do. And we know you have to execute to have a chance to work the ball, take care of the football, not have penalties, catch it, not have drops. For instance, one of the punts we had last week, 2nd down, we drop a pass, 3rd down, the receiver runs the wrong route, and we have to throw the ball away and punt. So it had nothing to do with them. We had the ball, had a guy open for a 1st down, he dropped it, the guy ran a long route that should have been open, that Landry's ready to throw it, and he doesn't break it off. So now you're punting. So in the end, it gets down to 2. Our precision and execution matters. Or Damian Williams drops the ball on 1st down on the plus territory on the 35 or 40 going in, and we drop it on the 1st down. So.
Bob, Javon getting a personal foul on that first drive, how do you balance guys' aggressiveness and going to make a play with being aware of things like that? I mean, it seems like a really difficult thing to balance.
I had just shown them Thursday in a team meeting a clip that came from the Big 12 office on targeting, though not excessive or not to the point of suspension or anything, but it should have been called. That wasn't. Plain as day, explained. Very similar. He needs to hit him lower. And again, I'm all for it. We got one of those calls too. Protecting these kids matters. You could still be tough, physical. Just hit them down here, hit them where the ball is. And I thought on that play, the ball was bouncing around up here. I'd have liked to seen him grab the ball off the top of his head and run in for a score instead of hitting him. So, you just have to keep educating them.
Is West Virginia getting better on defense?
It
looks like they're getting a little better on defense.
They have played pretty well here the last couple of weeks, yes.
What have they done different in the last 2 or 3 weeks that even when they were winning, they were getting lit up on defense?
They've limited big plays. They haven't had as many big plays. They've tackled well. Usually those are a couple things that'll help, that'll make a difference.
Well, you were just talking about targeting and things. Are you quite pleased with the direction the game's taking? I guess in the NFL as well, but
I really am. I know it's everybody. I'm an old defensive guy and a defensive back, and when it first was, I'm like, oh, geez, how are they ever going to play? But you notice it more and more. Guys over the middle, they're getting hit down, more in the chest, or you still can pop balls out without limiting the serious head blows. I think it's positive. And hey, if it's being called the same for everybody, then we're all playing by the same rules, So it's the right thing to do. Again, I know somebody at whatever times can be on the short end of it, but especially at this level. And I believe it's even the NFL level, even though they're professionals, those guys are so big and strong, I don't know that the head can keep up with it. So anything they can do to keep making it safer, I think, is really positive.
Did you ever play with a concussion?
Pardon me?
Did you ever play with a concussion?
Oh, I'm sure I had. Yeah, I was knocked out quite a few times.
So
Does it bother you now?
No. Other than occasional go for a trick play that doesn't work, but for the most part, my checkups have been really good. So I've been pretty fortunate to this point.
I was just going to say, so your sense is that, I don't know, over time, it's been a very underreported injury, concussion.
And I don't think, not intentionally, I just don't know that everybody's known the side effects later on and or how severe and, you know, all those things. It's like anything, you get better and improve as you go, and I think that's what everyone's trying to do. And again, I think even with the rules, more and more players are catching on to the rules. There's less of them called. So, you know, it's positive, I think, in the long run.
Even since you started in '99, have you had to, progressively educate more and more on head injuries? Have you seen just
Sure.
even here?
Absolutely. Everybody's more and more aware of them, and everybody, again, is more aware of how we're teaching in tackling and everything to try and limit those and avoid them if we can.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody.